If you're searching for the biggest and most well-known Medicare supplement insurance provider, you would pick UnitedHealthcare. UnitedHealthcare is one of the biggest Medicare supplement companies, but they're not always the cheapest. If you're looking for the cheapest Medigap premiums, consider newer companies like Allstate and ACE, who have recently entered the market with very competitive rates on Plan G and Plan N. Hi, my name is Mark Pripp, and I've been teaching people about Medicare for over 15 years. Today, I will share with you what I have learned when it comes to picking the best Medicare supplement insurance company. Here's what I'll cover in this video. The biggest Medigap companies. I'm going to pause and discuss rate increase history. Then I'm going to talk about the cheapest companies, Medigap Benefits, comparison tips, most popular plan options, average Medigap rates, and not getting overwhelmed when you're out there researching and comparing plans. Comparing Medigap plans or Medicare supplement plans and companies is far easier than you think because of their simple, straightforward benefits. And I'll show you why. With all the insurance companies pushing Medicare Advantage plan, I want to first congratulate you on looking at a superior option that Medigap plans provide. Let's start with the largest Medigap companies. Starting first on the list is UnitedHealthcare. They have a market share of 32%. Average rates you can see for Plan G is $169. Plan N is $111. I use these sample quotes for a 65-year-old in the state of Texas, and UnitedHealthcare over the past year has an average rate increase history of 7 to 10%, depending on where you are in the country. UnitedHealthcare gives you the option to include a Renew Active Fitness health program. They have additional dental, vision, and hearing discounts, competitive rates in these states that I've listed below. They are reliable and an established company that has been in the Medicare market longer than most other companies combined. Now let me pause just a moment and let's discuss a very popular topic when it comes to comparing companies, and that is everyone wants to know what their starting rate is, and they want to know how to project future rate increases and which companies are more favorable. Let's take a deeper look on that subject. Medigap companies have consistent rate increases, so it's important to look for a company that has a lower rate increase percentage. Market average was roughly 4% every year. However, that was from the years of 2001 to 2010. That's a very old report. Post-COVID, we are seeing rate increases from 7 to 10%, a significant jump. This is partly due to people delaying care during COVID quarantine. After quarantine ended, everyone went back out to get the non-urgent medical care they needed. Hopefully, in time, this should balance back out. So basically, with COVID, everyone withheld from non-emergency needed care. Once quarantine ended and life got back to normal, people went back to get the care that they had postponed that was non-emergency. So there was an influx of claims that came after quarantine and after COVID died down. I'm going to continue on with all of the other companies, but you're going to see a very consistent trend when it comes to the other larger Medicare supplement companies. Second runner up is Aetna. They have a market share amongst all of their affiliate names and brands of 30%. Average rates, as you can see, Plan G is $144, Plan N is $95. Those are sample rates I ran for a 65-year-old in the state of Pennsylvania. We have personally seen average rate increase over the past year of 7 to 10%. Again, not much different than UnitedHealthcare. Aetna offers 7 standardized plans up to a 7% household discount on the monthly premiums if you qualify. They also have very strong optional dental and hearing policies that we have really come to love. Third would be Mutual of Omaha. They have a market share of 10%. Average rate of Plan G is $225. Plan N is $165. I picked Florida and a 65-year-old with those sample quotes. Again, we're seeing average rate increase over the past year of 7 to 10%. Mutual of Omaha offers 8 standardized plans. They offer the same household discount, but theirs is up to 12%. They have dental policies with a 15% bundling discount. They also have access to the Mutually Well program. Moving on to Cigna, you can see market share is a little lower, 8.5%. Average rates were run for a 65-year-old in Connecticut. Plan N is 171. Plan G is 220. Again, same on the rate increase history of 7 to 10%. Cigna offers the 4 standardized plans, which include FG and N, up to 25% premium discounts. They also offer Healthy Rewards program, and they offer a 24/7 customer service. I'm going to switch gears and go over to some smaller companies that are newer to the market that are showing more favorable monthly premiums, but rate increases seem to be running in the same range. First off is Allstate. Allstate has a very small market share because they've only been in the industry for a few years now, roughly half a percentage point. Average rate on Plan G is 127. Average rate on Plan N is 99. That was a quote run for a 65-year-old in Iowa. We're seeing an average rate increase over the past year of 9%. One of the features that we really like about Allstate is, again, they offer all 10 standardized plans, but they have a significant number of discounts that you can qualify for that add up to 25% stackable discounts. We're finding about a 12% more affordable premium on Plan N and G with Allstate to begin with, but again, keep in mind we're seeing the same average rate increases. They also offer an active and fit fitness program. And last but not least is ACE, which is owned by a large property insurance company called Chubb. They're again less than 1% of the market share. Average rates on Plan G in Illinois for a 65-year-old is 145, and on Plan N is 105. Again, we're seeing the same range, average rate increase over the past year of around 8 to 12%. ACE is well known for their low premiums. They have highly competitive rates. Their financial stability rating is A++. That's because they're a part of the Chubb organization, and they really only offer up to a 7% household discount, no other additional features or ancillary products. So we've covered a lot. We've talked about some of the largest companies, their average premiums, and then what we have seen internally on average rate increases over the last year. Again, hopefully, as these claims from post-COVID start to calm down, we're projecting that rate increases should start to decrease over the next year or two, keeping the Medigap premiums more stable for most of the Medigap companies that are out there. Now I want to jump into and just briefly cover some of the Medigap benefits. The nice thing about Medigap, also known as Medicare Supplement, is when you're comparing plans, they're very easy to understand. There's no networks to compare. There are no prior authorizations. There are no copays. There are no deductibles other than your Medicare Part B deductible. If you're looking at Plan G, there are no referrals, no annual plan changes, no government reimbursement rates like Medicare Advantage, and you will not experience any provider disruptions like Medicare Advantage. Now, let me give you some tips and pointers on how to compare Medigap plans and companies so that when you're out there doing your own research, it should help you streamline that process and remove some of the stress in comparing different companies. Some of the highlights here are, number one, Medigap plan letters offer the same benefits. So Plan G benefits will be the same with UnitedHealthcare as, say, they will be with Mutual of Omaha. Customer service needs are almost non-existent with Medigap, since Medigap plans do not use networks, prior authorizations, or change their benefits annually. The only time that we typically hear from a client is to compare their rates and see if there's a more affordable option available. So I would encourage you, focus on the benefits of the company and not so much the public opinions of individual companies. Let's say you pick a company and that company goes out of business, you are protected with guaranteed issue rights. This means if you pick a smaller, lesser known company, if that company that's smaller should become insolvent or sell or go out of business, you're protected with guaranteed issue rights. This means that you can leave that company and go to another one without having to answer any medical questions. So once you select a Medigap plan with any company, those benefits are fixed for life and your coverage is guaranteed for life, even if you have to move from one company that goes out of business to another one. And again, as a reminder, when you're dealing with Medicare supplement rate increases, they are regulated by each state's Department of Insurance. That means when a Medigap company requests a rate increase, the Department of Insurance for that individual state has to approve the rate increase. The company must provide proof or evidence that they're not receiving enough premium for how much they're paying out in claims. So no company can just raise their rates wildly without any regulation. These plans are heavily regulated in your favor for your protection as the consumer. Let's take a look at the most popular plans. We've talked about companies, but let's look at the plans for just a moment. Plan G is the most popular policy type in the Medigap market. This is from 2023, with 39% of Medigap enrollees, or nearly 5.3 million people, choosing Medigap Plan G. So again, Medigap Plan G is predominantly the number one plan, followed by Plan N. So between Plan G and N, those are going to be the two most popular plans that you compare and choose from. All of the others are almost non-existent in terms of enrollment popularity. Let's take a look at average Medigap rates on a national scale with Plan G. The average monthly Medigap premium varies by policy type. The average premium for Plan G was $164, ranging from $140 to $236. So again, you can see on the chart here, Plan G is the most popular, coming in at $164. Your individual rate is going to vary by the company you choose, the state you live in, and the age at which you enroll, and any household discounts that you are eligible for. This is just a snapshot saying the average is $164, but your individual rate is going to vary depending on those factors I've just listed. My last tip for you is don't get overwhelmed. Medigap comparison is much easier than comparing Medicare Advantage. Most people will take to the internet and review the best Medicare supplement companies. They'll start with Google, they'll look at the results in Google, and those are not always accurate. Those are companies like Investopedia or Forbes that they're just compiling data. They really don't offer any unique insight because they've never actually personally worked with these companies one-on-one like we have. Let's take a look at some of these Reddit comments, and this is another warning to you that gathering information on Reddit is not only dangerous, but a lot of times gives you, the reader, a lot of misinformation and causes the comparison process to be even more stressful on you. Here's some top Reddit results that I took screenshot of. Avoid Mutual of Omaha like the plague. Their habit of frequently closing the book on blocks of business is very deceptive practice that traps many folks into a premium hell. All Medicare supplement companies will start and close a block of business. That's how they remain competitive for newcomers. If you're on a Medicare supplement and they close your block of business, you are not trapped in a premium hell. You can switch companies still. That's not a practice of Mutual of Omaha. That's a practice for all companies, and that's just the nature of the business. The next one is basically contradicts the first one. It says, I've had Mo or Mutual of Omaha for the last 6 years and have had no issues yet, and I am very happy with them. The next one is, I signed up for Aetna Medigap Plan G a year ago. Due to attained age and frequent surgeries, my premiums went up from $152 to $180. Frequent surgeries or claims do not have anything to do with premium rate increases. That is a myth. It's not individualized per person per the actions they take. It is based on the risk of a whole group in its entirety, not one individual claim. And lastly, here's another bit of really bad advice. Look at their credit ratings. The lower the score, the more likely they will increase your rates. That is just not accurate information. That is not based on factual ways that companies increase Medigap rates. Let me just point this out to you here. Whatever Medicare supplement company you select, you are doing better than half of Medicare beneficiaries out there on a Medicare Advantage plan. Yes, premiums are going to increase, but you will not be trapped in a premium hell like these individuals are talking about. You cannot escape rate increases just like you cannot escape them with auto, homeowners, or the price of milk or the price of bread and gas. Healthcare costs rise. It's just the nature of the beast. You're going to have the same exact benefits. The premiums may vary, but as you can see, rate increase history is telling us that there's no magic silver bullet company that has this magic way of keeping rates lower for longer than others. It just doesn't work that way. They all march to the beat of the same drum. I congratulate you and commend you for looking at a Medigap plan, because despite rate changes that you may experience, it is still the most comprehensive coverage you can get, the most freedom, the most flexibility. You're in control. You do not have to pick doctors and hospitals. You do not have to worry about doctors leaving your network because you don't have a network. You can visit up to 95% of doctors in the United States that take original Medicare with your Medicare Supplement, no matter which company it is. And your benefits are fixed for life. No annual plan changes like that of Medicare Advantage. I know I've covered a lot of information. I hope this has been helpful. If you have questions or if you need help picking a plan or a company, feel free to comment below or call us direct. We would be happy to help do a needs analysis with you. Thanks for watching.